Hey, it's Laura. You know, I just got off the phone with my aunt, who I don't get to talk to as much as I would like to. And we were talking about all things, and she's always been somebody that's kind of been there for me. And I'm really appreciative to have her in my life, especially since both of my parents are gone. And I'm just kind of moving through my weekend and telling her all the updates on the kids and everything else. And it's kind of crazy because, you know, she said, we were talking about Christmas, and I was saying how, I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do on Christmas when the kids go over to their dad. And I said, I'm just going to figure something out for myself or whatever. And she's like, well, you better make some plans because you don't want to, you don't want to be in that dark space. And I said, I stopped and I go, I don't really go there anymore. I don't know like when it happened or whatever, but I've been reflecting on it a lot lately. Those weekends that I didn't have the kids were some of the hardest fucking times that I went through. And I don't feel that way anymore. And I think it's because I have these good people in my space that are constantly reciprocating back. And I don't need to have a whole weekend of plans, but I have enough that I feel fulfilled and not so lonely anymore. And I feel this shift as I enter like new territory often. And it feels really good. And I get I'm emotional even now, just like thinking about like what that was. And I can remember approaching that weekend and feeling like, fuck, now I'm going to spend all this time by myself and it sucks and I miss my kids. But like, I don't feel that way anymore. And I can only attribute that to my personal growth. One, being like feeling better on my own and more fulfilled and not needing someone. But then also on the flip side, having the right people on my side. And it was a lonely road for a long fucking time. And I'm just really grateful. And I know I keep saying that. And the old me would go like roll their eyes like, what's up with that? Like, oh, good for you or whatever. But I worked through this shit in the deepest, darkest places. And if you've read my book, you'd see and because there have been a dozen different times since then that you reach these dark places just because that's what it takes to get to the next step. You have to go through the mud in order to get to the other side, and the mud sucks, but you will make it through to the other side. You have to feel the feelings. You have to go through those lonely times when you are feeling shitty and you need somebody to talk to and they're not available. Sometimes it's being it's happening for you that you're not meant to vent to somebody else. Sometimes you need to think about it. You need to meditate on it, sit in your space, take a fucking walk, write it down, whatever that is, on your own to get through. Venting to friends, a therapist, whatever, is equally important. But sometimes you have to sit in that space for a while, and it's hard. So I just wanted to say that because man, having that conversation with her today, and I was like, man, I am in such a different place and I feel so incredible. And I'm meeting so many great people in every aspect of my life, from the podcast and talking to people all over the world to these business owners that are ready to take the leap with me. That feels amazing, meeting all these women that have built these businesses in a heart-centered space that are so aligned with where I am. There's like no better feeling. So I know that holidays can be like a really tough time, and it is for me too. I'm not doing anything of what I've traditionally used to. Ever since my marriage ended, that was like the only resemblance of a family dynamic that I had that was somewhat healthy. And being on my own and figuring out, okay, on Christmas Eve, what am I going to do with these kids that'll be special? What are the four of us going to do together? And I'm thinking about like what I could do, and like maybe it would be chill and nice to have just some time together, do an activity, and then come home and get in our pajamas and watch Christmas movies and do that. And I'm not dreading Christmas Day on my own. I'm thinking about it in another way. And maybe I'll take a walk in the snow and just relax and pour back into myself. So if the holidays are coming and they feel heavy, start thinking about it in another way. And where can this lead us? What good thing could come out of that?